I used to get into a lot of trouble as a kid. I don't think my dad ever thought there was a future in my life, because I was always getting into mischief. Nothing outlandish, but just why you again kind of thing. I was going to a very high church as a young lad, and one day somebody caught me at the door and said to me, "We are looking for someone to play the part of Joseph in the Nativity mime this Christmas. Would you consider being that?" I said, I'm sorry, are you asking me to act? She said, "You don't really have to act that much. You be Joseph." I was not quite sure what that meant. I was about to say no till they introduced me to Mary standing there. I said, "This might be nice." In India, we were not allowed to date or anything. I said, "This is going to be a big thrill. Mary's going to have her arm in mine." So I said, "Let's do it." So I arrived early at the church for the first rehearsal. I was the only one in there, and I walked into this cathedral and walked up to the front, and there was a silver bowl on the table with some white wafers in it. Now, logic told me this was a charitable place that I was in. These were biscuits. I was hungry. I was going to eat one. So I dug my hand in, picked it up, and I put some in my pocket, and all of a sudden the vicar walked out of the vestry in his cassock, and he saw me standing there eating this. He looked at it and said, "What are you doing with these wafers?" And then he looked at my pockets. They were bulging. And I said, "I'm enjoying those biscuits from the table out there." He said, "Come back here." He gave me the worst tongue lashing I had ever received from a stranger. The only comfort was I didn't understand what he was saying. He just bullied me into submission, emptying my pockets, giving the biscuits. And the reason I didn't understand what he was saying, he kept using one word: sacrilege. "You have committed sacrilege." I honestly want you to know I had never heard the word as a kid. I said, "I don't know what I've done, but I hope the police are not going to pull up here. I don't know what this word is." Years and years went by. I remember studying G. Campbell Morgan, the famed English preacher. In one of his sermons, he made this comment. He said, "We usually define sacrilege as taking something that belongs to God and using it profanely." He says sacrilege is at its worst, not when it takes something that belongs to God and using it profanely, but when you take something and give it to God and it means absolutely nothing to you. I understood the double-edged implications of sacrilege. Both are true. I know now what he was trying to say to me, but the farthest thing in my young mind was what the Lord's broken body was all about. You see, you cannot worship without sacrifice. I think of all that we give the world: our time, our energy, our disciplines, our affections, and somehow we come to God and give him the leftovers.